So after being inspired by a couple adult beverages and a nice fire, I decided to go ahead and push on beyond the camp a little ways. From the beginning, I'd really been wanting to find a good spot to build some sort of elevated shelter. Down here in South Mississippi, you kind of want to be off the ground a little bit. Everything seems to want to bite you down here. However, my other camp was a little too high off the ground, a little over 14 feet when you were standing up in it. And the first night that I'd went up there and stayed the night, I almost fell out. And honestly, at 44 years old, I really don't want to fall 14 feet down to the ground. That seems like it would cause a whole lot of problems. So I decided this shelter is probably going to need to be just a few feet off the ground, making it easy for me to get in and out of. However, I was having a hard time finding a nice level area that would make it a little easier to build. I didn't get a ton done today. Tied a pretty good one on last night out here at the campfire. At the risk of sounding like a scaredy cat, these woods are completely different at night. You can hear just about everything moving around in all these leaves and broken trees, but it's a pretty good time. Now I'm gonna try to start working my way in that direction, and probably what I'll do is go down, cut across, and open up a trail coming up to here, so it'll be a big circle. Then eventually I'll try to get as much of this cleared out as I can. But hey guys, thanks for watching. So at first I assumed I'd go ahead and put my elevated platform somewhere in this area right here. Then the idea was I'd cut a trail down all the way around, make a big circle, and have my elevated platform in the middle there somewhere, and then have my little campfire set off to the side. But it seemed like the farther I started getting into this, I realized there was a lot of really big trees, and it was at a pretty good angle. But I decided I'd go ahead and start clearing it out anyway, in the hopes that I could figure out how to make it work. So now that most of the trees are gone, I knew it was time to move on to the next step, and that was raking up the area. Definitely something about getting out here in the woods and working, sweating a little bit. I got my fire pit pretty well loaded up and ready to go. I won't bore you with all the details, but just cleared all the big trees out of here. I'm gonna rake, get this cleaned up. I think I'm gonna go just behind this big tree here and call it good for that direction. We're gonna do some more work in the woods tomorrow. I got back after it a few days later, and I decided while I was out here working and sweating, I may as well do some jamming. I do love me some Jimi Hendrix. This next song here scared the death out of me when I was a kid. I had missed a couple days out here because we ended up getting a couple days of rain. That's when I really started noticing the area I was clearing out was getting washed away pretty good and was mostly sand. Gotta throw in a little Fleetwood Mac. Anyway, as I kept going, I noticed the holes were washing out pretty good. I was getting a little bit nervous about building something here. I knew if I did, I'd have to bury it deep, put in a bunch of concrete to hold it in place. It was nice to be getting it all cleared out in there, opening it up a little bit so I could move around. I figured I'd keep my eye out, just see if I thought I'd find a nice area or some trees where I could go ahead and build. After about a week of cleaning this area up, I knew I had a lot to think about. I wasn't quite sure if this was going to be the spot. I really had to think about it. Well, made it about as far as I can make it, or at least that I want to make it today. But I got my campfire loaded up and ready to go for tonight. Got some firewood lined up, ready for tonight. We got all the way down into here. I don't really know how much farther I'm gonna go back, but I'll probably at least make a trail shooting down and kind of making a big circle back to here. This is the back side. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you later. A few days later, and quite a bit of rain, I pretty much made up my mind that I didn't think this was going to be the area that I was going to be able to build my elevated platform. Cheers.